now.
And while we wait for that, we're seeing runner's route diverge immediately off the bat. Quizbowl started at the Sanctuary, got his Power Glove. Zelgadissan looks to be taking the south route to Kakariko. Probably see him pick up some bombs on the way.
Indeed. Probably not a bad idea. One of the things I often see runners forget to grab is the bombs, rupees. They just forget to route it in.
Yeah, and in a spoiler tournament where you know where all your go mode items are, routing in everything else seems pretty superfluous, but you gotta do it.
Indeed. And we're gonna see what's in Blind's hut.
That's a sub 1 minute Titans mitts right there for Quizbowl.
Nice. Wait, was there a glove somewhere?
Yeah, first glove was in the Sanctuary. Second glove was right there in Blind's hideout. And Zelga's got the flute at the race game.
You know, that is a very nice flute.
Yes, it is. Anytime you can get that flute in the Kakariko area, especially before 2 minutes have passed, it's always great.
You know, I kind of hope for early boots. I haven't actually taken too deep of a look at the log myself, mainly because I enjoy being surprised.
I've taken a reasonable dip into it, but for chat's sake, and I suppose for your sake, I'll avoid handing out that much in the way of spoilers before we actually see things getting picked up.
And the goose is loose.
Yep. Meanwhile, Quizbowl did pick up his flute while that was happening, and Zelga's going for his gloves. So we'll probably see them back on parity within a few moments. And yeah, Zelga saves quit, picks up his mitts while Quizbowl is activating his flute. They are bang on even here.
I mean, most seeds are this early on.
Yeah, that's true. It is slightly interesting to see they did diverge at the very start, and now they're almost on the exact same path. Although Zelga's going to the back of the escape here, he'll grab something fun. Actually, I'm surprised to see Zelga be the one to pick up the safety. When I reviewed these runners' qualifier runs earlier, and Zelga's exhibition match when the bracket was announced, I won't say he shied away from them, but he definitely did not go out of his way for them. At the very least, not to the same extent Quizbowl did in his qualifier runs.
Well, you know, I'd say that, you know, knowing your limitations is just as important as your ability to route.
Yeah, especially when you've got the spoiler log, and safety's become... it's a balancing act rather than something you can expect to find.
Yep.
Then we've got the party in the mini Moldorm cave with the lamp, the flippers, and the Bombos medallion. Going to need all three of those since Turtle Rock is a crystal and requires Bombos for entry. And Quizbowl will be picking those up as soon as he clears out the mini Moldorms. But he's only got a couple bombs. This is gonna be tough. He's got to get the double here on the left. Gets it, though. And the drop.
Jeez. I can only wish I was as good as these players.
Good thing he got that drop too, because he's sitting on 0 bombs now. But he'll pick up his items and be on his way.
There's something in the Dark Cross.
Yes, there is. Zelga's on his way to grab it. Also, I should note, Chad is talking about Quake. Quake is actually not required this seed, which is why Zelga skipped it. It appears that the tracker marked Misery Mire as a crystal. But Misery Mire is, in fact, that should be the blue pendant, if I recall the names correctly. At any rate,
that's interesting.
yeah. And I will spoil, since Zelga did not pick up Quake, we're not going to be seeing Misery Mire today. It is, it's a dead dungeon. I would be shocked to see either runner enter it.
Alright, and Zelga going to Dark World.
Mm-hmm. Super early Mitts, early Moon Pearl that you're seeing Quizbowl pick up here. And we'll see where he goes. Looks like he might be running over towards the pyramid area. Yes, he could. If he was going to Catfish, he could have just swam across. I guess he does have to swim across regardless and walk down. But I could tell from the way that he tried to ignore that, he's clearly not going for Catfish. Look for him to go for the pyramid area.
Yeah, I guess so.
Quizbowl, meanwhile, picking up one of the safeties that Zelga skipped. A red potion. Always nice. Zelga's going for a route divergence that I was actually wondering if either runner would do this when I saw this in the spoiler log, but there's his boots. And I was wondering if either runner would do that early with how out of the way it was. You see, Quizbowl picked up the frog instead.
Boots are always a good start, though.
Right, but
Fast travel.
yeah. It's just out of the way enough that I could see either runner opting to skip it if they wanted to. But there's the first sword of the day.
Well, it looks like Zelga's going to bonk rocks, so he must have routed this in. Sword. Yep.
Yeah, easy route in after the save and quit back to Sank there, and then just flute to wherever you want to go, which it looks like back to the Dark World for him.
Bottle.
Yep. There's the one that Quizbowl got earlier that Zelga walked right by when he was walking over towards those boots. Looks like he might be taking the same route that Quizbowl did with the frog.
They have 15 minutes, G McNuggies. And of course they're allowed to study it any time after. Oh, Master Sword. They are perfectly allowed to read through it after, but they will be taking time out of their own race if they do that, basically.
Similarly, they're allowed to hang out with you guys in chat, listen to us talk, whatever they want to do, as long as they're doing it on their own. While Quizbowl looks like is taking the purple chest, while Zelda opted to get a sword that Quizbowl didn't along the way to the smith. But
also, Zelda pointing out he forgot to grab money.
Yeah, the smith costs 10 rupees, friends. I don't know how many people actually worry about that, like, ever, but it's a thing. In the meantime, Quizbowl picked up his magic mirror from the purple chest and is taking it straight to Death Mountain.
Oh, I like that routing from Zelda. Grab those 5 rupees there.
Yeah, if that's all you need, I'm not sure if that's faster than using Blind's Hideout. I don't remember if Zelda bombed the back of that earlier. If he didn't, then the well is almost death. Okay, then yeah, the well is probably faster than waiting for the bomb there, especially since it does cost the bomb.
Yes, Aster, he did indeed need another bit of money. For 1 rupee, ooh.
Return on investment.
Although I imagine since he's doing that, Purple Chest probably has something.
Yeah, Purple Chest had the magic mirror, which Quizbowl took to Spectacle Rock for a hammer.
So, for Chad, I believe the estimated time for these is about an hour, on average, give or take.
Yeah, in general, sub 1 hour is a good target goal for these runs. For comparison, Zelda cleared all 3 of his qualifier seeds in under 48 or under 50 minutes. 2 of them in the high 48-minute range, and 1 nearly sub 46. And Quizbowl took an hour and 3 on his first seed, but managed to improve it to 54 seconds by the 3rd seed.
54 seconds, huh?
Or 54 minutes, excuse me.
I was gonna say that's quite impressive, even for just a NMG major glitches any percent category.
Wish I were that good at this game. Anyways, we've got the runners picking up items that their counterpart already has. Zelda grabbed his mirror, Quizbowl grabbing his boots, and Zelda's going up to DM, presumably for his hammer.
Wait, really, ACM? Huh. Hammer on Spectacle. And we're gonna grab that.
I want to see where Zelda goes from here. Quizbowl went over to get his boots and had actually a much less of a walk because of where he started from. Now he's going straight into Tower of Hera.
There's Big Key.
No tile room for us today, it looks like, unless he comes back to that later.
Well, I mean, at least in this, if you're doing it, you know it's worse.
But it's still tile room.
By some definition of worth. Yeah, but your opponent, if it's actually required, is gonna be doing it too anyway, so.
Yeah, so from a race perspective, sure, it doesn't mean very much. I just don't like tile room. And then same goes for the tile rooms like in Mire and whatnot, even though those are completely optional and you can just run right through them.
There's a tile room in Mire?
Yeah, on the left side. You normally just run right through it since you don't have to wait for it.
Oh, right! Yeah, and I never even really thought anything of that.
It's significantly better than the ones in Hera and Ganon's Tower, but it's still a tile room. Zelda poked the Moldorm. Hate to see that kind of thing, because now he's enraged, and that's just unfortunate all around.
Ooh. Careful there. There we go. Gets it.
Yeah. Good job, man. You earned it. Gets his blue rupee, gets one of his 5/6 crystals. Good stuff. On the other hand, though, we see Quizbowl walking past Hera. He's going to East Death Mountain. See what's up. Oh, ouch. That's unfortunate. Taking a death there.
So without having seen the spoiler log, I'm going to take that to mean there's something at Pyramid Fairy, because usually, since it was empty otherwise, you would wait till the last dungeon.
Yeah, mirror strats for GT are pretty strong. They're a lot like the ones you would see in inverted races, where you do Agate Tower as the very last step. But yeah, Quizbowl did walk right by Hera when he had the option to walk in earlier, though. So.
And going to Turtle Rock.
And for Luna Resrun in chat that's asking where the second sword was, Zelda got his second sword at Stumpy, with the first one that both runners have was in the Bonk Rocks.
This is open mode, however the only difference to a regular old open mode race is the runners are allowed to be here and they have the spoiler log accessible to them.
Alright, we've got both runners in the Paradox Cave, named so because you go in the bottom, you fall down, you end up in the middle. Don't ask.
I want to call for this cave to be renamed Hype Cave and Hype Cave to be called something else.
I'm actually quite fond of the Paradox Cave name, though. I don't agree with that one.
Ooh, hookshot.
Yep, there's your East Death Mountain item. He's ignoring the rest of the cave aside from the heart and the heart piece he grabbed on the lower.
This bomb jump isn't that hard, but it's also pretty annoying.
Yeah, because if you fail it, you're just in a bad situation. Did Quizbowl pick up a shovel in one of those Paradox Cave chests Zelda skipped?
Yep.
I think that's what I saw.
You did.
Yeah. Zelda did not take the shovel, so either he misread his log or that spot is dead. I'll leave it to chat's imagination. I know the answer, though.
You know, Necro's got a point there. But anyway. Tempered Sword? I imagine that's probably the last one he'll grab. Although no shame in grabbing better if you prefer it.
Yeah, and then the magic cape on top of that, it's right there, why not? Although I will say, given Zelga's previously shown penchant towards avoiding safeties, I'm a little surprised to see him with the sword advantage at this point, even if Quizbowl just narrowed it slightly.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just a safety though, it's also, you know, you really want Tempered Sword, at least for Ganon.
Yeah, definitely makes it pretty nice to not have to use spin attacks for that whole fight. I think the League race that was on this channel immediately before this race showed what a big deal only having Master Sword can be.
Yeah, it's not a fun fight. You have to do 12 spins, 4 spins, and then either 4 or 24 depending on if you have silvers.
Sorry for Bully, Lin, but you had a good fight regardless. Considering the situation, it was well done.
Chain of Samaria.
multiple safeties in the actual hype cave. Quizbowl did pick up both a bottle and a heart container. Nothing actually required though, so Macy Zelga skipped that one.
You know, the thing that scares me most about these spoiler races is the idea of having minimal safeties.
Just speed run vanilla low percent.
I don't even do an MG.
I don't either, but it's like I watched Zelma play low percent Oko at AGDQ, and that was pretty nuts.
I know, right? What was it, like three deaths he took the entire run?
Something along those lines. Man is good at the game.
And
but
I love
regardless,
how
he's not the one running here. So we're seeing Zelga continue his trek through Thieves Town. He picked up the cane as we called out earlier. I think he's skipped the only chest he's come across since then. Quizbowl looks like he's playing Swamp Palace instead.
Ooh.
Nothing of value in the dam or the sunken item itself, so away he goes.
Demo Man, this is a spoiler log race, so he knows that it's nothing, whatever it might be.
Right. Both runners did receive the spoiler log for the seed 15 minutes in advance and was able to use that time to study it and at least somewhat plan out their route. I think anybody who's done this before will realize that 15 minutes is really not enough time to totally plan out the best route, but it's at least enough to get your feet under you most of the time. And yes, knowing where to go, it really makes the game more of an execution-heavy one than one that can be solved. Well, I say solved. That's not really the word I was looking for, but one that can be handled with superior routing and gambling.
Yeah, it's kind of a strange but fascinating mix between, you know, an NMG-style run and a randomizer.
Yeah. And actually, in a manner of speaking, it actually emphasizes the puzzle aspects that originally attracted me to Rando. Because as opposed to actual Rando where you're routing and you're trying to figure it out on the fly, this really is a solvable puzzle.
Indeed. They're silvers.
Yep. That's always nice to have. And it looks like Zelda looks like he's playing Swamp Palace, so he'll be catching up shortly with his Thieves Town crystal in his back pocket already.
And yeah, it tells you exactly where things are.
Lazriel, you can theoretically do spoiler log races with other modes if you want to, but I believe the standard community races are only done with the regular open mode.
You know, it would be fun to do with Key Sanity, though. Maybe a thought for next tournament.
Don't muscle memory yourself into wasting keys.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, Quizbowl is headed to the much-dreaded left side of Swamp. Somebody please save us.
Well, at least we know it's required.
Yeah, but it's like tile rooms. It's still the left side of Swamp. You don't want to do it. It's just not fun.
I mean, you generally only don't want to do it because it's like, I don't know if it's going to be anything, and it's such a waste of time if it's not.
Yeah, at least he's only got to go for one chest here. You can see he's skipping the other one.
Also,
And it's a vanilla big key.
Cyclone, I gotta agree with Esther. Crossworld is basically you can find, I believe it's like you can go between worlds, like the connections can go to the dark world from the light world and vice versa. And there's the ice rod.
Yep. So silvers and ice rod so far in Swamp Palace. Anyways, while these runners go through this dungeon and while we wait for Quizbowl to finish and Zelda to go along the same path, let's take a sec, take stock of what these runners have. Quizbowl's got an extra heart over Zelda, 5-4, but he's down a sword. He hasn't been to Thieves Town yet, so he doesn't have that Cane of Samaria, or the crystal, or the Hera crystal for that matter. Is there anything else you can spot that one of them's done that the other one hasn't in this situation?
No. I mean, Cape, but
Yeah,
you know.
Cape was right there alongside Sword Advantage. And that location, Quizbowl has to go back up to DM both for Hera, Turtle Rock, and Ganon's Tower when the time eventually comes, so I have no doubt he'll grab both of those in time. James FNX, Quake was in the back of Escape, but it's not going to be needed this seed. He grabbed it just because it was there alongside the blue mail that was also there. Shovel has not been checked. Both of these runners know what it is. So.
I thought that Quizbowl did check. Or was that only Stumpy he did?
They've both done Stumpy at this point. That was one of the swords. Let me double check what the big spot was, just to be 100% sure. Yeah, spoilers, friends. The dig spot's only a single heart piece. I don't think that's going to get seen, and I don't think Quizbowl ever. I don't remember seeing Quizbowl ever go back.
Huh, I guess maybe he just grabbed it by accident.
It was there. Maybe we'll see him need to dig for arrows and it'll come up clutch later. Anyways, that was a good solid Master Sword Argus kill from Quizbowl. He got the fire rod at his reward, and he got a crystal for it. Let's go. Chat calling out both rods in Swamp, and yes, they were. So actually, once Zelda picks up that rod, he should be able to just book it back to DM and full clear Turtle Rock if he really wants to. And Song leaves in chat asking if you can use Ice Rod on Argus. You can. Ice Rod is super slow, so it's sorta finicky. But if you can pull it off, it does look really cool. Actually, we're seeing Zelda go for that strat. And pulls it off perfectly. Flexing that sword advantage, getting the quick kill and his fire rod.
Okay. Lunar, you say... Lunar, I don't think you can?
No, logs are only available to the runners themselves and the commentators. And our tracker, shout out to our tracker, DMN. Awesome guy, helping keep you guys informed on what the status of the race is. I've done that job enough to know what it takes, so thanks, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, James in chat saying that it feels like Zelga's way ahead, and yeah, it might feel that way between the 2 extra crystals he's got, although Quizbowl will have that gap closed to 1 fairly shortly and the sword advantage. But Quizbowl, when he goes back up to DM with his cane with his both rods, he'll be able to clear both Hera and Turtle Rock in one go and grab his Tempered Sword and his cape at that time. I don't think the gap's quite as big as it might look.
Mushroom.
Though I do agree at this point there probably is a gap. And yeah, Mushroom in the attic of Thieves Town. Zelga did not pick that up, meaning I'd be surprised that if it comes into play. On the other hand, if they don't ever find the magic powder, you can use that mushroom as a safety via the fake powder glitch. That could be big.
Yeah, it's definitely good to have, especially on such low heart.
Right. Like right now, Quizbowls is on 6 heart, Zelga's on 5. A powder fairy would be a full heal for either of them. So that's actually, unless the powder shows up later, picking up that mushroom's a good heads-up call by Quizbowl as a safety. Is that a new blind fun? I don't think I've ever seen it before. I didn't catch it when Zelga did the fight, but
What was it?
any old sword will do the cut here.
I do think that they might have. I know they added text to Ganon, but they might have added text to Blind too for the spoiler.
Yeah. If shoutouts to whoever added that one, because it's pretty good.
Oh no!
That's unfortunate. He had the potion equipped, just couldn't get it off in time.
Oh. HJ, it's entirely possible it's just for safety.
Right. As I explained, you can use the mushroom for the fake powder glitch. You can use that to turn anti-fairies into fairies, just like the regular powder. Not just for the magic bat location.
Yeah. Plus, keep in mind, it's hard to break yourself with muscle memory.
Yeah. I'm guilty of that one a lot.
That's why I can't play NMG, is because I keep picking up chests even after I tell myself don't open them.
Yeah, that would. I had that trouble. I tried to learn NMG when I actively ran Rando last year, just so that I could try to get better at it. I did have a lot of the same problems.
Oh boy, almost died again.
Did get the potion off this time though, and there goes blind. Good job. Zelga, meanwhile, making his way through Turtle Rock, got a small key out of the big chest. Might save him from having to go through the laser bridge later.
Oh man, Aster.
If you pick up the map in a low percent run, is it still low percent?
You know, that's an interesting question. I mean, you're not
Okay, Quizbowl paying a visit to the mire area, but he's got his mirror equipped. Looks like we're getting checkerboard K from him. Meanwhile, I was wrong. Zelda does need to do laser bridge. Keys didn't line up properly. Kate makes it easy, but still always sad to have to go into an unnecessary room.
At least probably won't have to do the whole thing.
Yeah, just the one chest and he's out. Quizbowl is taking the Desert Palace play. We haven't seen that from Zelda yet, so this is new territory for everybody. Meanwhile, Zelda showing a relatively clean backdoor kill on the Firehead of Trinex. Gets a 2-cycle on the first phase. And then gets quick kill on the second phase. It's a pretty clean Trinex fight. He'll claim his other 5-6 crystal, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I think at this point it's safe to assume that Pyramid Fairy has something.
Yeah, I will go so far as to say that you will be correct in that. And that's why I was wondering if runners would go out of their way early on for the boots that were just sitting there on the ledge. I knew that they'd have to come back to it later, so I was wondering if they would take the long walk early or just grab it alongside their Pyramid Fairy item.
Yeah, but it is, you know, the boots, basically, so.
Right. On the other hand, there was early flute for quick overworld travel, but you just can't beat the boots. Quizbowl, unfortunately, running out of magic on that Landmola's fight,
Ooh.
but shouldn't be that much slower. Oh, that's just unlucky. But does take him down. Gets a compass for his trouble and a crystal. And that would be his second crystal, or no, his third crystal, excuse me. Meanwhile, we did see Zelda detour for those Hype Cave safeties that Quizbowl picked up earlier on the way to pick up his big red bomb.
Oh, and there we see Quizbowl joining us in chat. Dude, don't worry about it. We couldn't do half as good as you, probably.
Yeah. All things considered, it was still a fairly solid fight. We being the people that are talking and not participating in the tournament. Anyway, Zelda got his Pyramid Fairy item. It was the bow. Everybody loves a good bow, right?
Sometimes.
Oh, looks like he'll be taking it straight to Eastern Palace, which you only need the bow to kill the boss in there. You can get like 5 other chests without it. Which means that I actually really like it as an early play in normal rando seeds, but spoiler seeds are not normal rando seeds. And actually, yes, the Mensiv in chat is correct. That bow is go mode for Zelda. He can clear every dungeon or every crystal dungeon at this point.
Yep.
So we'll see him just run through Eastern, Desert, and Ice Palace in some order, then make his way up to Ganon's Tower.
Right, HJ?
And then Quizbowl on the other side is making his way through the Tower of Hera. So we'll see him in the Moldworm fight very shortly. Let's see if he can avoid the poke that Zelda unfortunately had in this fight.
Well, it looks like he's... Oh. Never mind. Trollworm be trolling today.
That's rough. Happens to the best of them, but you hate to see it.
Nice.
Getting rejected like that is always funny. I first learned that was a thing when I was like a 6-year-old playing this game, and I would spend minutes at a time just intentionally doing that because I thought it was fun. But he does get the quick and easy 3-spin kill here. Very clean fight the second time through. And he'll get his 5-6 crystal and a blue rupee.
Well, you know, it's funny because the rebound off of Moldworm is so good that you can actually do Moldworm 2 without using the hook shot or without hovering. Although it looks impossibly difficult.
I am unfamiliar with this strat. Somebody's going to have to show it to me later. Because now I'm curious.
You basically do a bomb jump, but you rebound off a Moldworm to get the extra boost.
Oh, this sounds amazing.
Ridiculous looking, but it's so incredible at the same time. Hold on, if chat really wants it, I can look it up.
Maybe, hopefully somebody in chat already knows about this and can link it and can save us the effort while we talk about the race. Especially while Quizbowl's going into his Turtle Rock. And Zelga's going for his Desert Palace. If I remember, Quizbowl's right, the big key was on the torch, then he just mirrored out and went straight to... Okay, no, never mind, I misremember, the big key was in the center chest. Regardless, he's going to grab it, mirror out, go straight to Lambos. And Quizbowl is opting to neutralize sword advantage before he goes to Tower of Hera.
Yep, and there's the link if anybody wants to see it in action.
Also picking up the magic cape. And thank you for that link, I'll look at it after the race.
And yeah, Necro Rebel, I'd say it's pretty much TAS only.
Doesn't stop it from being a really cool strat that I didn't know about until like 3 minutes ago.
I mean, I think it's fairly recent. Like, I was just mind blown when I saw it in the Discord. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Anyways, Quizbowl is starting his long trek through Turtle Rock. We'll have to see him pick up most of the small keys and the big key, and just generally make his way through this winding dungeon. Too late, Zelda. I'm watching you kill land molas. And hey, you killed the land molas. Good job. This is where I give you the thumbs up emoji if we were in text.
Yep. And now they're gonna be off to Ice Palace, I imagine. And then off to Ganon's Tower.
With Ice Palace being his last crystal, I would be shocked if he went anywhere else. Let's hope that's where he goes, for my own sanity.
As you're surprised by the clip. It's really something, isn't it?
I'm expecting to have a similar reaction later, despite already knowing what's in it because of this discussion. And also, the Dude Garcia in chat, these races are not on delay. You will occasionally even see the runners pop up in chat, which is perfectly fine.
Yep. No real reason to not allow them to be in chat since they already know where things are, and that's basically the reason why that's not allowed in rando races.
Right, and it adds an extra entertainment factor. Like, Quizbowl, I'll help you out here a bit. Zelda, Quizbowl, please, is requesting you to slow down. So please, maybe slow down if you want to listen to your opponent. Up to you, though, friend.
That clip.
Let's see, 20 Zeldas per hour. If it takes 6 minutes to rescue one Zelda, then NMG runners are only going half that speed limit to begin with. No problem here. Nice, clean Ice Palace bomb jump from Zelda there. That's one of the primary NMG techs that you will see in probably the vast majority of randomizer seeds from experienced runners. Just because it saves you from having to go all the way around the dungeon. Anybody who's played this game casually knows what a pain that is.
Also, Leximus, yes, but the same could be said of an MG. Different skill level runners.
Right. The structure of this tournament is much, much closer to traditional non-randomized NMG than it is any other randomizer tournament anybody's ever seen. But the items are still randomized.
Ironically, two different groups of people were planning this tournament at the same time.
It's a cool format. Aside from the fact that we're not having a major tournament until after SGDQ, like the major fall spring tournaments we've done in the past, I'm surprised it took this long for somebody to do it. Anyways, super clean NMG style cold stare kill from Zelda. Just line them all up in the corner, knock them all down, easy money.
Yep.
And now, as Zelda makes its way to GT, chat, if they want to, only if they want to, can start guessing where the big key is. We're not going to run the bot that we do for traditional rando because they're skipping chests, so the numbers would be all out of whack. So if you want to guess a location instead of a number, please.
I think that as far as for what I did before, the idea was go off of the original standard quote-unquote route. The right side 2 chests, then full left, then right side, then tile room.
You lose all the nuance that way, though. I like just guessing locations. Now, I actually have not looked at the spoiler log for this part, so I'm just going to do what I always do and say it's always in the rando room. But chat's free to have their guesses, you're free to have your own guesses.
Well, I actually did look at this particular part, so...
Wizzato in chat saying bottom left rando room. That's a man of good taste right there.
Okay, there are 22 places in the basement again in Tower where the big key will be, but we're probably only going to see less than 5 of those, so...
Quizbowl killing Trinex while Zelda opens GT. Not quite the quick kill on the second phase, but still pretty clean, didn't take any damage. Nice fight. And yeah, so Hakumen in chat, that is a Phoenix Wright sprite on Zelda's side. Quizbowl is using the conventional Link sprite.
I mean, you can Quizbowl, but that would kind of take away the fun for chat.
So Double small keys in the first two chests for Zelda, and he's going straight to the right side. So I'm going to guess that's where the big key is. And yeah, the Dude Garcia in chat asking what kind of times you tend to see in these spoiler races. In general, the normal sided benchmark for a good run is under 1 hour. Zelda was able to complete all 3 of his qualifier runs for this tournament in under 50 minutes. And then Quizbowl had a slightly rougher time of it in his first run, but was able to bring his second and his third runs down cleanly under an hour. So, in spite of the difference here, with Zelda being already in GT, clearly a step ahead, we've got 2 very good runners here, so I'll take a sec to shout them out. Go give those guys a follow. Their Twitch links have just been posted in the chat. Go give them a follow, say hi to them. Doubly so if you enjoy the show they're putting on for you. Because, yeah, they're both good runners. They're both putting on a good show here. And oh, we didn't see just the big key on the right side. We saw Zelda go full right side down to either Bob or Ice Armos.
Yep.
That's actually an interesting route. Quizbowl picking up his bow does put him in go mode, and it looks like he's refilling the bottle. Free red potion, money saved!
Nope, but it's behind the big key.
I don't think that the route Zelda took to Ice Armos was the fastest, because as pointed out in chat, vanilla NMG would do it if it were faster. Like, the game's well optimized enough at that point. But I have a hunch he may have just wanted to show off some rooms that you hardly ever see, either in Rando or in normal NMG. You only see those rooms maybe in casual play.
Also, another interesting thing that was recently discovered, you can actually clip these mimics out of bounds.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of mimic clip glitches, neither this one nor the one in pod, so I'm just gonna leave it at no comment.
Why do you dislike them?
Too close to major glitches for my taste. And I understand that the community has decided that they're not, but it's just a matter of taste.
Has the GT mimic clip been decided as minor?
If you're questioning it, then I'm not 100% sure either. I thought it was, but... Okay, and Synac in chat clarifying that there is a ruling for this tournament specifically, but not for the larger racing community. So, my mistake. But it is allowed for purposes of this tournament.
My name is not actually Dewey. Basically it allows you to skip having the boat in the mimic rooms of GT.
Wait, can you use the glitch in both mimic rooms? I thought it was just the second one.
I think it's in both.
So if it's in both and the glitch is classified as minor, that means bowless siege are theoretically completely possible, right?
Yeah.
Damn.
Would be pretty funny to see.
Yeah, and it'd be one of those 1 in a million type of occurrences, but that would actually be cool.
I mean, it's probably about equivalent to having a hookshotless seat.
True. Anyways, Quizbowl getting a very quick kill on the Armos Knights with his silver arrows. Just one shot each and they go poof. Meanwhile, Zelga's up in the torch rooms with GT, getting pretty close to that Moldorm 2 fight and Aghanim 2 at the very...
You know, as a casual, these lamp rooms just were impossible for me.
I can see why. They're very unforgiving for casuals if you don't manage your magic properly or you just screw them up. The good news is that there is a full magic drop in this room. Let's see if Zelga... Yeah, Zelga's circling around to grab it. Very nice to have before the Ganon.
It's hard to have, because, like, Link to the Past requires a lot of items, generally.
Yeah. And by making certain Dark World dungeons pendants, you can get around some of the more obscure requirements. Like, I've seen Fire Rodless Seeds before, which are cool. But it's just... You're relying on the randomizer at that point to do it for you.
Yeah.
Ooh. Zelda with a nice triple on the first phase of Aghanim 1. And he's in... Oh, he was in position to get a second one, but he got blue balled. There we go, though. A nice, clean 3-phase Aghanim 2. That's good from Zelda. Meanwhile, Quizbowl making his way through Ice Palace, about to drop down to the bomb jump. Oh, chat's calling me out on phrasing. Sorry, unintentional, I promise.
Chat's good at that.
I'm learning fairly quickly. Zelda getting his hits in on Ganon while Ganon talks about land slugs. Tempered Sword makes this fairly straightforward to get the one cycle on both of his first two phases, especially when he's in a position like this.
And I think this should work. Yep.
Good bomb jump.
Probably my proudest moment in Rando was I was playing with Change Sprite on hit, and I'd never seen this sprite before, but I managed to get that bomb jump first try.
Yeah, similarly, I normally use the sword to set up that bomb jump, so learning how to do it swordless was a big achievement for me. Ganon asking if we found the arrows in Swamp Palace. Heck yes, we did, alongside those rods. And there's the second arrow in, 2 to go, and Zelda will be done. There's the double.
GG.
Yep. GG to Zelda. And we'll see him cross the bridge shortly, as soon as it spawns. And that's done with an SRL time of 59 minutes and 7 seconds once you subtract out the study period. So yes, just under an hour. Good job. Clean run on what wasn't the cleanest seat I've ever seen. And we'll see about if we can get him in here for a quick interview shortly.
Hello. GG's.
Hey, thank you very much. GG's.
Mm-hmm. GG's and solid run. We can see Quizbowl continuing through Ice Palace's last crystal right now. So, Do you have any brief opening thoughts you want to share?
I'm not super happy with the routing I chose, and honestly, there were some some spaghetti on execution in places, but overall, I'm still happy with how the seed went. There were no major mistakes, like just small time losses here and there, like poking Moldorm and not hitting land modes with silver arrows, just little things like that. But I can't complain too much.
Nah, you got the win. You got in under an hour. It was a good run. And I think what I want to ask about, you've done several spoiler races before, even not including the qualifiers, right?
I had never actually done a spoiler race before this tourney was announced, so whenever the bot was created is when I got into it, really.
No, my mistake. But that actually makes the question I wanted to ask even more poignant. The 15-minute study period. How much of a route are you able to put together in that time?
I can get the vast majority of it. The main thing that I actually forgot this time was that I needed cash for Pyramid Fairy. And apparently, I wasn't sure if I needed the 10 rupees for the Smiths or not to get the purple chest to spawn. I was actually glad to see in chat I learned something from this race that I didn't need that.
I think we all learned that one today. Shoutouts to that was ACMLN that taught us that fact, if I recall correctly. Shoutouts to him.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But it was really convenient when I started looking while I was running, like during crystal animations and stuff. Because I had already passed the Thieves Town 300 rupees when I noticed it. But then there was also 300 rupees in Hype Cave right by the bomb shop. So it was pretty much perfect.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else in particular that stood out as something I wanted to ask about. Math Girl, while I think on that, do you have anything you want to ask about on this run?
Not really. It was well done, basically. I'd be scared of getting on 6 hearts blue mail.
Yeah, it got a little scary at the end there. I was glad I had the cape. I wanted to grab it since it was right there in my path, and I could still use it for things like Laser Bridge to make sure I was going to be safe. So it was just perfectly convenient spot.
Mm-hmm. I want to ask about the boots. We saw you make the long walk for them super early. I'm guessing you obviously think that's worth it. But considering that you did have to go back for Pyramid Fairy later, do you have an estimate on how much time you think that was worth over just saving them? Do you think that was actually significant, or do you think it was maybe only a couple seconds worth?
I definitely would not have waited until the Pyramid Fairy, because that would be the entirety of Tower of Hera, the entirety of Turtle Rock, and any other dungeons. Like, you would have had to have also done the entirety of Swamp, and at least dip into Thieves Town if not complete it, just because of the item layout. So that's 4 full dungeons that you would have to wait if you wanted to do Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah, that's fair. We did see Quizbowl, he waited slightly longer to go for those boots, though he also most certainly did not wait that long. But that was just my first thought when I saw, hey, I wonder how they'll route this. If they'll do it early, if they will wait, or what.
Yeah, I think I had heard, at least I couldn't really watch the commentary, but I think I heard the commentary mention that Quizbowl probably went and got the hammer from Spectacle Rock first, which kind of makes sense if you're doing the Hype Cave stuff anyway. But at the same time, I hate doing stuff without the boots if I know where they are and they're available. So it's like, I just needed to go get these right away.
Yeah, perfectly understandable. If I recall correctly, he got the mirror, then did go get his hammer, and then used that to save quit, use that to go to Hype Cave and then up to the Pyramid for his boots. So not quite as long of a walk as you had, although still delayed, relatively speaking.
Yeah, all in all, I'm pretty happy with how this went. You're kind of forced into Turtle Rock relatively early with light equipment to get your bow. So I was glad to not have to deal with the chomps or anything like that. I was very glad the chomps didn't have anything. But all in all, I don't think my route was perfect. I'm sure someone could do a better route, but I'm mostly satisfied enough. It's sub-hour, which is pretty much kind of like the generic goal going into these.
Yeah, if you hit that time, you're doing something right. And while I'm sure somebody somewhere could do better on routing if they had time like in the qualifiers, coming up with that in 15 minutes is a very difficult ask. Anyways, while Quizbowl has gone through GT and he's killing his Ice Armos to pick up his big key right now, I'll actually ask the one last question the world is dying to know. Game 2 when?
It's going to be about a week until Game 2. We're just got some schedules that don't really fully line up perfectly. So we're just going to get together in about a week, and hopefully that should leave enough time for the winner to move on in round 2 and get the matches in there against either Asder or Christos.
Yeah, that's going to be another good match. I think a lot of people, when the bracket reveal happened, were surprised to see Christos with a middling seed given his reputation and his general skill at the game. But
well, I can say, as someone that sees that as the looming opponent, if I were to move on from this match, it's rough, because neither of those guys are people you'd want to face in the spoiler tournament, between NMG experience and then just general execution. So whoever wins this is going to have a rough match going forward.
yeah, but whether it's you or it's Quizbowl, the very least, you can't say that neither one of you deserves to be there. Like, whoever wins absolutely earned it. And I would say there's a shot, for sure.
Yeah,
because even knowing or even thinking that there might be a skill difference, and even with the spoiler log being available, it is still random.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a chance, and if I move on, I'll be looking forward to the challenge. I've already got a storied history with Asder, so maybe we can continue that. And I don't think I've ever actually faced Christos in a 1v1, so that would be kind of cool too. So I'm looking forward to it if I can get the chance.
We'll have to wait a week to see whether you get that chance or if it gets pushed off to Game 3, but in the meantime, let's see Quizbowl going through the Ganon's Tower Gauntlet. These, what are they called? Zyzax or something? I don't remember off the top of my head, I'm sorry. Their movement is not being especially kind to him, and he is downing his potion. But there we go, walks right into him and he's able to take it out and move on.
So just a reminder to folks, this is just the first tournament race. There's actually another one going on, I think, now, isn't there?
I believe it would have started 10 minutes ago, yeah. Let me pull up the schedule and check that. Yes, Sabotender versus Kyong92 on Speed Gaming 5 was scheduled to start 10 minutes ago, so that should already be in progress. So once Quizbowl's done here, everybody hop over to that channel, because that should be a great race as well. And yes, the Mensiv in chat calling out that Kyong and Sabotender are going for a back-to-back race. So you go over there, you enjoy what's left of the first race after this one wraps up, and then you'll get to enjoy an entire second race for free.
And I think there's another race at midnight, if I read correctly.
There is a Bentizi versus Relkin race at 10:30 p.m. Eastern on Speed Gaming 3. I don't see any other races scheduled after that tonight.
Oh, was it 10:30?
Yeah. But regardless, we've got at least 2.5 to 3 more games of Rando tonight, depending on how you look at the ongoing game. So, lots for everybody to watch and enjoy. And Quizbowl is entering his Moldorm 2 fight, so 2 quick spins, and it's done. Well done. And then for Zaganim to fight, we know that the 2 cycle is impossible because of the blue ball on the 2nd cycle. The same reason Zelda didn't get the 2 cycle, but we'll see if he can get the clean 3 cycle. Three hits in the first 2 cycles. You'll need a 4th cycle. It's fine though. Some of these patterns they're tricky. That was very nice to clean that one up though. And he'll be moving on to Ganon.
Yep.
And yeah, Synat calling it out in chat, but we can see with Zelda's credits finished, a collection rate of 52, less than 1/4 of the chests in the game, and that includes the mandatory pickups such as the boss drops, and all of the items he had to find to actually clear the game. So, I beat that low percent run.
It also included a big 20 in Turtle Rock, which was disappointing. I opened the wrong chest, and I was not happy about it.
Hey, I mean, it happens. At least we're not playing Ocarina of Time Randomizer, where the big 20 is instead the big 5.
That's true, but I mean, I got hookshot late enough in this, it kind of felt like it was Ocarina of Time anyway.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, kind of gotta agree with great cake strats here.
The warps are giving him a lot of frustration, though. That was, what, 4 after that last fire bat? No one wants to see that, Ganon. Come on.
That's a good question. I'd have to think on that one. So you gotta pick up all the boss drops, you gotta pick up all the required items. You'd want the dungeons that have the least requirements.
Yeah, like, we could spend a few hours theory crafting at that before coming up with the probable answer. But it is a good thought experiment.
And GG to Quizbowl.
Yep. You'll cross the bridge as soon as it spawns, so get your GGs in chat for the man. And he is finishing with a time of 1:13:33 after you subtract the study period.
Alright.
So we'll pull Quizbowl in so we can have him talk about the seed a little bit, get his thoughts.
And there he is, GG's.
Thank you, GG.
So, you have any opening thoughts on the run you want to share before we start asking questions?
Oh man, I think I messed up some of my routing in the beginning. I started writing down an opening route, and about, I don't know, T-minus 30 seconds, I realized it wasn't going to work. So I was spending the first 5 minutes of the seed just mentally start recalculating what the route I needed to actually do was, and I think it kind of fell apart.
That opening 15 minutes before you even start playing it doesn't feel like enough, I'm sure. Very frankly.
It's not enough time. It's not enough time. I mean, the qualifiers, you had all the time you needed, and 15 minutes, you look up and it's 10 minutes, and then you look up again, it's 5 minutes. Oh man, it is so short.
Yeah. But you did put something together, and for a while it was looking like you had something pretty solid going. Like, The big difference, you ran for the mirror in the purple chest earlier than Zelda. He took the long walk around to Boots before doing that. But
Yeah, I saw him do that on the restream, and I think it probably would have been the better call. See, my original thought was, okay, I can get Titan's mitts immediately once I get to Blind's hut. So why don't I just jump right into the Dark World right there, grab the chest, save and quit, start doing kind of work that into that, and I realized I didn't have the Moon Pearl, so
yeah,
Where was
kind of
the
important.
pearl again?
Dark Cross.
Oh right, yeah, that was something.
So
Yeah.
that's why I wound up going up the mountain, grabbing the hammer, and then coming back down, and then going back up again, and coming back down. I realized if I had thought about that a little, and of course, nerves. This is the first match, and I'm going up against a great opponent, and there was a couple of deaths up there at the beginning. It was not good.
It turned out a little rough, but I do think you had a good idea chasing the mirror immediately, because that was really the critical item for this seed. Blocking the hammer, blocking the hook shot,
Yeah,
and blocking
my
Swamp
thought.
Palace, which had both your rods and your silver arrows.
Yeah, my thought was to try and make a trip up the mountain to where I could take care of both Tower of Hera and Turtle Rock at the same time, because that's what was locking the bow. So it just kind of got lost in the early 15-minute shuffle.
Yeah, with a frantic period like that, trying to figure out where everything is, what you need to do, can hardly blame you for something like that happening. It's rough, but you did put together a good run in spite of that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So, this is on the higher end of some of my my practice runs. But, so if I had gotten the route a little bit better, I think I probably could have gotten this down to probably an hour 5. So still not quite enough to best Zelda, but it would have been better for me.
So what went wrong with your route originally?
My original thought was to immediately jump into the Dark World and then go from there. And then, of course, I didn't have the Moon Pearl, so I had to backpedal and start routing that in. I wanted to get the lamp first because it was easily accessible from any Moldorm. And then from there, I got the Moon Pearl, and then I tried to recreate the route from there. But by then, half the stuff I was planning to do I'd already done, so it just didn't have as many synergies as I originally thought.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So yeah, I kind of got lost in my own thoughts and reshuffling everything, and then I started kind of getting into a groove somewhere around after getting through Swamp and all that. I had everything kind of more set in my mind, and then I was kind of able to just go.
Well, that's good.
For sure.
Alright, well, anything else from you guys before we wrap things up?
Just throw out GG's. I'm looking forward to game 2. Hopefully we can get a little bit smoother seed. And thank you all for hopping on the commentary, the restream, the tracking. Really appreciate being able to be essentially showcased like this for the community.
Yeah, and I'll just repeat the same thing. I'll say the same thing. That GG's to Zelda. That was a great match, and look forward to game 2, which I think we got on the schedule for next week. And again, thank you guys for commentating, tracking, restreaming, everything. I appreciate you guys being putting this all together for us.
Yeah, and as a reminder, this was the very first match of the tournament, and I think that you had a good seed for that in a lot of ways, and you put on a good show for it. And then, like you guys said, shout-outs to the tracker DMN. Cool guy.
Alright, well, I think with that we'll wrap things up. I've been Math Girl, and joining me today was Ray on comms, and Quizbowl and Zelga on running, and who was our tracker for today?
Our tracker was DMN, the very cool guy.
So,
Seriously. Good job, man.
yep, give all of them a follow. Give me a follow if you want to see really bad randomizer seeds.
And yeah, I think that will be it for us. We went over this earlier. There is a match going on right now, Kyong vs Sabotender on Speed Gaming 5. I strongly recommend everybody go watch that. They will be running the second race of back-to-back after that one completes. And then there's another match, Ventisi vs Shrelkin at 10:30 p.m. Eastern on Speed Gaming 3. So you've got your choice of randomizer to watch tonight, guys. Have fun.
Night, everybody.
Good night.